You could look at capitalism and socialism not in terms of the role of the government. That has been the discussion in the 20th century. That does not mean it has to be the discussion in the 21st century. The discussion now, in this century, I think is going to be different. It's going to look at capitalism and socialism in terms of a different way of organizing production. Simply put, in capitalism, a small number of people, the owner, the board of directors in a corporation, run the show. They tell the mass of people, employees, what to do, how to do, where to do, and then to go home. And what those employees produce belongs to that little group at the top. It's not a democratic system. It's a very autocratic system because the folks at the top who make the decisions are not accountable to the people they employ, who have no vote over these decisions whatsoever. And the alternative could be a socialism understood as the democratization of the enterprise, of rearranging the enterprise so it is democratic, so there isn't a small group making decisions. All decisions are made collectively and democratically for all the usual reasons of advocacy of democracy. Only now it's advocacy of democracy inside the workplace and not just in politics. If you use that lens, then European, Scandinavia, or China or Russia, none of them made the transition from capitalism to socialism. None of them reorganized the factories, the offices, and the stores into democratically owned and operated worker co-ops. They didn't do that. They thought about it. There were some debates at various times about it, but they didn't do it. Or at least they didn't do it yet. And that leads me to my closing comment. A year or two before he died, early in the 1920s, the leader of the Soviet Revolution, Lenin, commented on what they had achieved between 1917, when the revolution happened, and when he was giving this talk, which I believe was 1920-21. He referred to what the Soviet Union had achieved, with the phrase state capitalism. And he was very proud of it. We made a revolution. The state is now controlled by a political party of the working class, by which he meant the Communist Party in Russia. The workers control the state, and the state has taken from the private capitalists the industry. So we have a capitalism run by the state. It's state capitalism. Why did he still call it capitalism? The only answer I can make to that question is because they hadn't transformed the inside of the enterprise. They had transformed who owned it, they had transformed who ran it, but they didn't transform how it was run, how the mass of people would become the owners and operators of the economy. That, Lenin said, was the next stage of the revolution, which history tells us they didn't achieve. So the question for China is really the same one. You have developed a mixture of state capitalism, the sector where the state owns and runs, and a state-regulated private capitalism. So you have a mixture of state and private capitalism. But Lenin's question stands. Will you? Are you in the process? Do you have plans for the transformation of this kind of still capitalist economic system to something fundamentally different? And that fundamental means the radical democratic reorganization of the factory, the office, and the store. That question is as pertinent to China today as it was to the Soviet revolutions and revolutionaries after their revolution.